Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. Today we are going to be repairing and rebuilding pretty much. Well, putting in all new stuff and fixed up. I just got done rebuilding the carburetor for a Stihls 041 farmboss. So we're going to be putting in a new spark plug. I got a new air filter. We're going to have to replace the fuel lines and the gaskets for the carburetor, and then we will get it going. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to replace this line. This one goes to the carburetor from the crankcase, and it keeps it makes a vacuum that pulsates the diaphragm, which I had just taken out in the carburetor up and down, which makes the carburetor pump fuel from back here, which we also need to make a fuel line for. And we are going to be removing this particular piece and putting in a new fuel filter as well. So for right now, let me take that out. So I'll take it out in a second. So I'm going to take this out, this black cable, black hose, and I'm going to cut a replacement piece. Make sure you do get fuel tubing so that it doesn't deteriorate when there's gas in it. And make sure it's high heat as well. So I'm going to come back after I get the new piece of tubing cut. Alright, I'm back. We have our new piece of tubing cut and put in. So next we're going to remove the fuel filter. It should just pull right out. You might need to use a pliers. This chainsaw did sit for 20 years, so, ooh, pulled off. Alright, I'm going to have to figure out, I think I need to get this boot to come up and off. There we go. And there is the old fuel filter of nastiness. Ew. So we'll be throwing that away, and then we have a new one. Alright, we have our new fuel filter here. So you need to put the fuel filter on the end of the hose, and then you slide that in, and then what you do to make it tight is you slide that hook in and push it down, and it seals. So that is what we're going to be putting in, and we will go from there. Alright, we got the new one all put in. So next we're going to be putting this black plate back in, and hold on, gotta make sure you get the throttle up out of the way. And make sure you clean the bottom. So I'm going to come back after I clean this up. I thought I had already did, but apparently I did not. Alright, we're back. I got it all cleaned up. And we will be putting it back down in. Is this the right way? Pretty sure it is. Yep, so you push it down. Watch out for your line from your crankcase. So then, once you have that done, we're going to be putting on a new gasket up to the carburetor. So that'll seal properly. Alright, we got that on. So next, we are going to put on the new carburetor. It goes like that. It is easier if you connect the throttle up first before you slide it on. So I'm going to do that and get the throttle connected up and then slide it on, and we will go from there. So next we're going to have to cut a new fuel line that'll go from here to here, and this one goes up to here. So that's what our next step is going to be, is to get those fuel lines and crankcase line connected up to the carburetor. Alright, so we got those all hooked up. The fuel line goes to the side of the carburetor, and the crankcase vent goes to the rear of the carburetor. Make sure you have your throttle hooked up. So next, we're going to have to put down the next seal. That it goes right here. And then we will be putting this on top of it. And you want to make sure you get your choke hooked up right there before you slide it down. So that's what our next step is. I'm going to get that all put together, and then we will come back. Alright, we're back. I have the plate on. So next, we're going to screw this down. Those are 8mm nuts. So once I get them tightened, I will come back. Alright, we're back. What I find is easiest is if you do one down to finger tight, and then come and do the other one to finger tight, and then alternate back and forth, tightening a little bit at a time. That way you know it's nice and even on the carburetor and the seals, so it's good. So next, what we're going to do is replace the old crappy air filter with a new nice air filter. Alright, this one actually is from Oregon. So there's the part number. I will list all these parts and links to them in the description below for everybody. So I'm going to pause the video and come back in a second. Oh, here I go, I got it. I can open it one-handed. So we have our nice new air filter on there, and then you put the top piece back on and screw it down. Alright, once you have that all nice and on, make sure everything works. Good to go. So next we're going to be putting in a new spark plug. I looked online and I was able to find, I couldn't find the old spark plug they used to make, which is interesting. Bosch used to be made in Germany. I don't know where they make them now, probably Mexico or China. But I was able to find a replacement NGK. They make those in Japan. 6377. So we are gonna gap it here and then put it in. Alright, we got the new spark plug all in. So that's pretty much it. And we are ready to give her a try. So I'm gonna put some bar oil in it and some gasoline. And we'll see if it starts up. So it definitely does work again. It didn't start before, so that is good. So we did get the Stihls 041 AV running again after 20 years. I'm going to have to adjust the idle and all that stuff, because right now when you let the throttle off all the way, it shuts off. So, but it is cool to get old stuff running again like that. So I hope this helped you out, or if you just like checking out old chainsaws, and that is how we rebuilt the Stihls 041 AV Farm Boss from the 1960s. and got it running again.